Alright, so here we are in Cursed Shore, down in Ore, and this is Winternell Shore, and right here in this area a lot of oozes tend to spawn. Right now I can see blue oozes and yellow oozes. You can find yellow oozes in Sparkfly Fen if you don't want to come here. Right here by the bridge that's up in here. There's this bridge right here, and there's yellow oozes right there that are pretty easy to get. Honestly, blue oozes tend to be in a lot of places that are like under caves and things like that. But there's yellow and blue oozes that spawn here, and you know, you can farm them right here, but they're in a very small little section. So it can get a little annoying farming them here because there's so few of them, and also sometimes it's a translucent ooze instead. So I'm still in Kershore, but now I'm basically a little south from the Thorndock. Actually a little southeast, I guess. But there are translucent oozes and red oozes here. Again, there's not that many of them, but this is a good spot for getting some red oozes if you don't want to have to do the jumping puzzle in Queensdale. You can even get, here at Cursed Shore, the toxic oozes. Accelerating. So here in Sparkfly Fen at Karen's Passage, this is the bridge with all the yellow oozes, and it's a lot easier to farm them, and while you're here, you can go ahead and get hit by a laser from a basilisk. You just gotta wait for it to... There it goes. Laser! Yay! Easy. So still in Sparkfly Fen, right here at Salt Flood Mire, there is a ruins, and it is filled with toxic oozes, and these are the green oozes that I farmed personally, you know, for my glob of ooze for my paint. Alright, so after you have made your paints, since you have all the components now, you will continue to get your crystal thingies as you go along. You're being hit by lasers and stuff like that, charging your crystals, your Jade Maw lens. But we're going to start also looking at our scenic vantage points. So here we are in Mount Maelstrom. Here's our big old giant volcano. And this is Firebreak Fort Waypoint. And if you just run right up to where I am right here, this is the entrance to some lava tunnels. And the lava tunnels are a little... I mean, there's tons of ways to get into the volcano. You can glide down into it. You can run through the tunnels in the south. This just happens to be my favorite way to go. So you come in here and you will see the scenic vantage point here on top of this big spike coming up out of the ground. And so you just run up to the top of it with your canvas and your paint and your paintbrush, and you paint a beautiful picture in red. This is also a good place to get red oozes if you actually had needed them for your paint still. Alright, here in Dry Top, you can go to Vine Bridge Waypoint and then just go down like this, or if it's contested, you can use the Repair Station Waypoint, run across and jump down, and glide over. Either way, right here is the entrance down into the leyline cave that's down under here. On the way down in here, you may come across a golem, a light golem. Here's what the light infused golem looks like right here. So he's a pain in the tushy to solo, but you're just trying to get hit by his light, so that helps a lot. His light laser. So I do not remember which one it was, but for my Bifrost, I stood in one of these pockets like this in this room for the Cavern of Shining Light, and basically channeled myself to get my being hit by a laystone energy. I want to say it was like down here somewhere. But basically in one of the little cubbies with the ley line going through it is where I stepped into and I got my credit. Like right over here, see how there's the ley line going through those? And that's where I got my credit for my Bifrost. So finishing up Dry Top for the Bifrost, You're going to be up here by Uplands Oasis, and there is a jumpy right here, and then you want to use this jumpy to, whoops, to climb up on this thing to your Scenic Vantage point, so you can paint your beautiful canvas in green. So here I am in Malcor's Leap down in Ore, and the Pyrite Peninsula here is where you want to take your canvas and paintbrush and yellow paint, and you're going to come up to this Scenic Vantage point right here, and you're going to paint yellow. So then you want to come up to the Metal Forest Hero Challenge right here underneath this yellow glowiness, and this is where you're going to attune all of your crystals and test all of your crystals out that you got before in Lion's Arch. So right here in Malcor's Leap, right next to the Scenic Vantage for yellow. So I'm in the plains of Ashford, and Phantasmus Waypoint is pretty close. Iron Dock Shipyard Waypoint's pretty close. But right here in Lamia Mire to the south, there's these big rocks right here in Plains of Ashford. And this is where we're going to go for our painting in orange. And this is where the start is to jump up. So to get to the vantage point, we're just going to go up the little stairs here from the north side of this rock right here. And then you come around and there is a wooden plank that you're going to go across right over here to get to the vantage point. Right like that. And then you can see the Scenic Vantage points right over here for our painting in orange. So I am now in Blaze Ridge Steps, and there are 3 major things to do here for our Bifrost. At Kinnar Fort Waypoint, just come here and come around, and there's a Scenic Vantage point for the first item on our list to paint our beautiful purple painting. Canvas, paintbrush, and purple paint. Yay! So the other 2 things to do in Blaze Ridge Steps for the Bifrost are a little more complicated. Lowland Burns Waypoint, which is more in northern Blaze Ridge Steps, is where you want to be. And essentially this stuff is a little harder. So the hardest thing for me was definitely farming the coral, but the second hardest thing was getting crystallized by the Shatterer. Getting crystallized by the Shatterer, I did it because I came when there were very few people here doing the Shatterer, and so my chances went up to get crystallized. It's fine if you die, it won't keep you from getting it, but what you really need is to become encased in crystal during the actual fight with the Shatterer. So try to stand in front of his face, and it's totally RNG based, so good luck. The second thing, which honestly was for me actually quite annoying, is all over in here there are all these different sorts of branded creatures, and one of the branded creatures that you're looking for is a branded human, and it looks like a little woman, and she'll shoot a laser at you. Now, if you'll notice, there's yet to have been a branded human on my screen. I had to run around here looking a lot, and I honestly killed a whole bunch of these branded things in an attempt to get a branded human to spawn, and that's what it took for me to get it. So it actually ended up being quite irritating to get the branded human, because it's such a rare spawn out of all the branded creatures that there are around here. Once you find her, the little branded human, just let her shoot a laser at you, and you will be good to go and done with Blaze Ridge Steps. And all that will be left for any of this will be Frostcore Sound. One last thing, one good thing about having to kill a bunch of crap here to try to get your branded human to spawn is you do get a lot of radiant dust and I think iridescent dust, whatever it is. Anyway, the point is you get a couple of types of dust from here, and you will need lots and lots of dust to make a gift in the next part of making your Bifrost. So farming a little dust here isn't necessarily a bad thing. So I am in Frostgorge Sound, and this is not where we go for our painting, But if you go to Earthshake Waypoint and come up here where you fight the Clog Jormag, Rojan the Penitent is here, and he sells you Icy Runestones. You will need to buy Icy Runestones. They are 1 gold each, no matter how you buy them, and you need 100 of them for your next part of making your gifts for the Bifrost. So you might as well buy them while you're here, if you have the 100 gold to do so. There's no way around that price. High Peaks Waypoint here in Frostgorge Sound, if you just come to it, and you just walk up the hill a little here, to where this little flag thing is, you'll see, looking down, here is the Jormag Sons of Spawnir little city made out of awesome looking little ice shards poking up out of the earth. The Scenic Vantage point, you can see it's right there, but where we want to go is actually up onto this roof. And you gotta basically like climb up and around all of the spikes. And I usually climb from this other side over here, this opposite side, because it's a lot easier to do it like this. See? Easy. And you'll just come up here and paint your beautiful painting in blue with your blue paint, your paintbrush, and your canvas. Pulsing blue light emanates from the nearby ice, tints everything shades of blue. So pretty. So yay! We did all of our stuff. We got our achievement. It's all finished up down here in Legendary Weapons. Part 3 of the Bifrost. All of our laser beams got smashed and hit. We got trapped by a shatter. We made jars of paint and made beautiful paintings. You know, all this stuff's wonderful and great. And we have our perfected stuff, which we now are going to salvage and get the spirit of. And then we can buy our recipes, our box of recipes for the legend from Grandmaster Craftsman Hobbs here. So that we can finish off making the legend. So we'll have an essence of rainbows, we'll have the spirit from the previous staff, and then we will have 2 things to make. We have a carved beam, which is spirit wood plank, ancient wood planks, elder wood planks, and a carved tier, which is globs of ectoplasm, spirit plank, piles of crystalline dust, so on and so forth. What you also need is sculptor tools. So where do you get sculptor tools? You don't buy it from your crafting master. You don't see it on the trading post. That's because you have to go to Beetleton in Queensdale and buy it from Lord Joshua. Alright, now that you have the recipe unlocked, Shire of Beetleton in Queensdale, and right here at Beetleton Waypoint, you can come over and right next to the heart is Lord Joshua. And remember, you're making your carved beam and your carved teardrop. So get your sculptor tools and for those 2 items, and then you will be good to go to make your legend. So grats on having the precursor done. Now you just have to turn that precursor into a legendary. So we'll work on gifts next time. But good job.